Welcome back from summer, everyone. Signal 7. Who has been before? That's good lot of you. Who has never been? I still think more new than old. Great. Signal has changed. This is the first of a new type of signal. More signal, less noise, less fat, more flavour. Slightly shorter, longer interval. So those of you who've been before who remember there being 3 sets, there are 2 slightly longer sets with a 20 to 30 minute break in the middle. So let's say 20, it'll be 30, let's not kid ourselves. But yeah, so with more talking, we'll finish a bit earlier, you can all stay and drink a bit more. So, I'm Adam Lenson. Hi, I'm a director that's made the potentially strange decision to devote my life to creating new musical theatre in this country. Playing to an inside crowd, but yeah, thanks all. I started this night because I realised that everyone had a perception of what musical theatre was, and it wasn't a perception that I had because I was on the ground with all of these incredible artists. I thought that if I could create a place where those artists could make whatever the hell they wanted, that it would be really interesting, and it has proven to be so. So basically the way it works is I get a bunch of writers, I tell them to write whatever the hell they want, they write it, some of it arrives as late as this morning, a band rehearse it, some singers sing it, you guys watch it. Every single song tonight is a world premiere. Some of them are the first song from first shows, so the first time you'll hear an idea being brought into the world will happen here. Yeah, I think, well, you'll hear from me throughout the night. We're being live streamed, that's another thing, happened last time, it's happening tonight. What I would say is, go on Facebook, share the live stream, it's on Signal Musicals page, go on Twitter, we're at ALP Musicals. If anyone wants to talk about the night, #Signal7, we'd really appreciate that. We're really trying to kind of amplify what we're doing. There are probably only 120 of you in this room, but there are a lot of people in London and the country and the world who I think we want to make listen. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking for at least a little while, and I'm going to welcome our first act to the stage, the incredible Mr. Tim Gilvin!
Hi, how are we doing? So the first song you'll hear tonight is from Cable Street, a musical riot. Which is a show that's kind of born at Signal. I brought something that I'd just written about this idea about a year and a bit ago, and Darren Clarke said, hey, there's a book writer writing the same thing, you guys should work together. So we are, and about every 3 months we write a new song. The pace is starting to pick up a bit now, but it's really cool to be developing it at Signal and having fun with it as it goes along. So this song, we're exploring the idea that we'll have like a genre clash in the show. This is supposed to sound a bit like The Clash, hopefully it does. In this song, it's London, it's 1936 in the East End, and the Battle of Cable Street has just happened. You can Google it, because I talked about it at previous shows. But so it's happened, and Mairead, who's a teenage girl from an Irish family, she wants to participate in the rent strikes that are going on at the end of the street. But in spite of everything that's happened, her family are saying that hasn't been sanctioned by the party. So she gets in this argument with them. In reality, there would be sort of interjections from the dad and the brother first and then the dad. You won't hear this tonight. You will just hear the incredible Molly Lynch.
Wait for the signs, you can control the light. Oh, I had it up to here.
So, as I say, I got the music for that maybe a day or two ago. The band rehearsed it for the first time today with Molly. This is new. One of the things I always like to say about musical theatre is a lot of people, when they hear the word musical, they think it'll sound a certain way. Oh, I know what that'll sound like. It'll sound like that. But they don't. Musicals don't all sound the same, and I'm sure tonight you will come to appreciate that even more if you already knew. Hence why I started with that song, which doesn't sound like most musicals. So we're up to 7 signals. We do them every few months. And the idea is that we give some artists the idea of they might have an idea, they can progress, they can write the next song for the same idea, or we can bring in artists who are starting an idea, and each time we kind of bring in some new ones, some old ones, and mix them all together. And what you're about to see is a signal debut. Round of applause. People always, yeah, I know. After 7 times, it kind of feels like, someone new coming in. What's explaining to someone that like it's a very, very safe space, it's a lovely, warm audience, and that you can do new material. Sometimes takes a little bit of time, but then they come and they all seem to say to me, "Yeah, that felt safe." So make them feel safe. For the first time at Signal, Adam and Trip and Guy Woolf.
So, as we're new, we're much less cool than everyone else and we've got notes. So I'm going to try and pretend that they're not here, but I am going to read from these notes. Thanks, Adam, so wherever you are, so much for having us. I'm really excited to be here. My name's Isla Van Tricht, and I'm the book and lyric writer, and this is Guy Woolf, he's the composer. And what we're sharing with you tonight is a new song. We wrote it a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. It's a brand new song from our musical Valerie. The full title of which is?
The full title is concisely Valerie, the correct account of activist, writer and genius Valerie Solanas, who famously wrote the Scum Manifesto and also shot Andy Warhol, as told by herself and her friends.
So I became interested in Valerie maybe a couple of years ago. I was writing a play and I came across her Scum Manifesto. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it. Yeah, some cheers in the audience, some fans in, really. So Scum, she was the founder of Scum and actually a sole member. And Scum stands for the Society for Cutting Up Men. Yeah. And basically she was a radical feminist and outspoken lesbian in the 1950s and 60s. She had an incredible life. She lived in New York in the 60s. She mingled with the factory crowd. She was friends with trans icon Candy Darling, and she befriended Andy Warhol. But because of her mental health, basically. She had paranoid schizophrenia and kind of basically a really tough life. Because of kind of those things, she ended up basically being known only as the woman who shot Andy Warhol. And she died penniless and basically forgotten.
Yeah, in our musical, we give Valerie the opportunity to retell her story and to allow her to present herself as the prophetic genius whose voice on gender, sexuality and equality was decades ahead of its time. So in our show, Valerie engages her friends to play all the parts in her life so that she can have the final word. But the ensemble take on a life of their own and things don't go to plan.
So the song that we're sharing with you guys tonight is called My Turn, and the idea of it is that it's sort of like the I wish number that you often come across in musical theatre, but because it's Valerie doing it, it's more like a battle cry than a sort of wistful wish or longing. And in terms of where it comes in the show, we've seen kind of some early scenes from her childhood where she was a bit of a brawler, she was a troublemaker, she actually headbutted a nun when she was at a convent school, legend. And then she's gone off to university, 1950s, she's at Maryland University, so it's very sort of, everyone's in kind of pink and pearls and that sort of thing, and all the men all her male classmates have been asking who she's going to marry, because that's the only reason that women go to university. And so this song comes at a point where she's realising that she doesn't really fit in, and her view of the way the world should be is there's a real dissonance between that and what the world is actually like. And I guess it's about her wanting to do something about it. And performing it, we've got the amazing Eleanor Jackson.
I should just quickly say, Guy and Isla said yesterday it'd be really cool if there was a violinist. I put out on Facebook, does anyone want to play the violin at Signal? This amazing lady, Claudia Fuller, was already coming to Signal. Here she is.
Since I was little, though I couldn't put my finger on it, I began to feel and think that far from a star, I was much more like a blazing comet, and me and the world were twins. But the earth is so huge, and it's turned for so long, with no time to pause or rearrange. So the job feels too big, and the pull feels too strong, and I can't help but feel, ain't it time for a change? Isn't it time for a change? The world men have made is turning and turning, stuck on its axis and spinning, and the rage deep inside is burning and burning. When will the world be for women? I want the earth
A huge thank you to our extra band member on the violin and Claudia Fuller. And it's time to introduce our house band. On the keys, Tamara Saringer, musical director for the day. On the guitar, Curtis Vogt. On the bass, Hugh Richardson. And on the drums, Martin Newbury. So, I always say that the metaphor I use for the type of songs that I prefer for Signal is that I want the paint to still be wet. I used to say I want the wound to still be bleeding, but that wasn't as pretty a picture. The main reason for that is because I kind of dislike the idea that there isn't a scene here, that people aren't writing musicals. The musicals we hear about are 20, 30, 40 years old, and even the ones that we think of are new are 5 or 10 years old. And when it comes to this and what's happening now, I want new things. There are going to be other things that we do that help put shows on, which I'll tell you a bit more about later. But when it came to this idea, the original conceit was songs that are new, so that you get to see stuff happening in the present tense, and you get to be somewhere special and hearing things for the first time. I know that, like, over the last couple of days, when I get those things into my inbox, that is a special feeling to know that you're somewhere unique in the world. I didn't get an email with this song on because it was that late. This song, and to be fair, the writers had said they'd do Signal, and then they had other deadlines, and then they were worried actually that they couldn't write a new song for Signal, and were like, oh, maybe we'll do a song from something that's not as new, but it's only happened in a few places. And I was like, I really prefer it when they're brand new. And then they said, okay, we'll write you something brand new, but it might not arrive until today, and it didn't arrive until today. And here are Stephanie Amy's and Teddy Clements.
So as Adam said, this is brand new. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist and don't usually like putting anything out there that I'm not 100% happy with, and we literally wrote this yesterday, so bear with. It's for a brand new project that's so brand new that it doesn't have a name yet. It's not really something I know much about at the moment. What I do know is the concept is about motherhood, the expectations and the reality. And here to sing this brand new song, Rebecca Bailey. Thank you very much.
Yourself completely, inch by inch, wouldn't change a thing, because against all the odds, life gave me you.
I think I might have just come up without having memorised what's next, but I'll talk for a bit and then I'll figure it out. What I mostly wanted to say was the way it works is the writer has to get someone to sing their song. That can be the writer themselves, or that can be someone else. And like, I just want to do another huge round of applause for Rebecca Bailey, who's done like 4 or 5 of these. But also all of the actors who step up learn songs incredibly last minute and deliver them like that for the first time. I mean, that is amazing. And yeah, what time did you get it last night, Becky? 6 p.m. last night, and she just sang it like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, what is next? Oh yes, I know what's next. I remember what's next. Yes. Hi, Michael. The man with the loud laugh. So yeah, another person who really said to me, I want to do Signal, I want to do Signal, I want to do Signal. And then wrote to me and went, oh, I don't think I can do a new song, can I do an old song? I said, no, you asked to do it. There are fewer spaces now. The honour goes up. You have to give me a new song. And he went, okay. And last time we did this, I wrote a really good song, he said, so I'll do it. And he did it. Welcoming to the stage, Dylan Wynford.
That wasn't you, that was... How are we doing, Signal? You all right? Good. Yeah, talk about fresh paint. I wrote this morning. Thank you, good night. So, as most of you know, because I come here a lot and I always do the same show, I'm writing a show called The Throwaways, which is about a group of misfits who enter into a trading card game called Championship to save their safe haven, their comic book store, from closing down. And I'm rubbish with deadlines. Yeah, this is very fresh. And it's sung by the character Peggy, who is a disillusioned cashier in the shop. It's called Sing Songs, maybe, I don't know. It's getting harder to explain these knots that tie around my brain. And though the stars align, no one's there to tell me what that means. And I know that there's still time. This is not over yet. And we grow, but I can't escape the feeling that everything we do in life is set. So I went looking for the answers from some other girls next door. They passed on to me the words they learned when they turned 23. Sing songs, tell lies, break hearts, repeat until you die. You can't go wrong if you stand up straight and learn to move along. And I wasn't satisfied right, I said there's more to life than singing songs and lies. So I went looking for a preacher who I hoped could tell me more. He said, my child, what ails you? I said, I don't know. I thought time would move slow, but we keep moving faster. He laughed and said, here's some advice that should last you. Sing songs, tell lies, break hearts, repeat until you die. You can't go wrong if you stand up straight and learn to move along. You sing songs, tell lies, break hearts, repeat until you die. You can't go wrong if you stand up straight and learn to move along. Get a job at a till and you'll be just fine, 'cause you cry out each night over a bottle of wine. So what, you never accomplished all of your dreams? No one else you know did either. They're just blowing off steam and singing songs and lying. As I leave, everyone is screaming, sing songs, move on. No one looks me in the eye. They're screaming, sing songs, move on. Sing songs, move on. Sing songs, move on. Sing songs, move on. Sing songs and sing songs, tell lies, break hearts, repeat until you die. You can't go wrong if you stand up straight and learn to move along. Cheers.
So, as Dylan said, one of the cool things about Signal is that people can continue to work on shows and come up with ideas. In fact, the Throwaways, which Dylan's song was from, has had, I think, all of its songs performed at Signal. Well, not all, but like has basically been was started at Signal and has iterated here, which is something that we like to do because shows get sort of written in front of an audience's eyes. They say that a musical takes about 5 years to get from idea to happening, and we want to be part of that journey. Which brings us to our next pair, who had a show that went very well at the Vault Festival. They won all sorts of awards, but they, rather than just rest on the laurels of having a show that people like and might want to do more with, no, they're straight on to the next one. So here's the first song from the next one, from the brilliant Freya Smith and Jack Williams.
So this is a brand new song from a brand new show. Currently, the show and the song have the same name, Ride, which probably isn't how it's going to pan out, but it's new, so. I've got some props, so I'm just going to have a quick look at those. Need my spoon, but I'm not actually playing spoons. Probably tell you a bit about what it's about. So yeah, this is a song called Ride currently. We're working on a show about a lady called Annie Londonderry, who was the first woman to cycle around the world, and she did it in the 1890s. And so this song is all about how amazing bicycles are. They just sort of come about in terms of like for women. And so this is really like, it's insane actually if you think about like this was the first time that women could sort of just ride off and no one cared. So so this is a song about that. We haven't really written much of the rest of the show, so we'll see where it goes. But yeah, wait, I'm just checking. Okay, Right, we're good. Oh, just hope for the best. It's just arrived on the scene. A new spectacular, miraculous, pedal powered cycle machine. So why not take one for a spin? It's the latest craze. You can get from Massachusetts to Ohio in a matter of days. So let the getaway begin. Don't be deterred. It's instructions far from random. With every part working in tandem, you'll be riding like a pro. No need for chaperones. It's you. Hey, let's liven up the human race. On your marks, get ready. Grab your bikes and go. Just ride. Leave the past behind you. Take a road beyond the bend and ride. Forget what once defined you. And get ready for your friend. Hear the gentleman whine. This titanium monstrosity will surely lead to moral decline. Every port will catch the bug and start to roam. You know the woman should be gearing up for clearing up the mess at home. But all they've done is pull the rug. This is absurd. I hear the bicycle's vibration, the cause unspeakable sensation. Except never the private parts aglow. It gets so hard, resisting voyages that take flight with all those ankles in plain sight. Don't worry, fellas, I'll be gone before you know. Just ride, leave the past behind you. Let the critics condescend and ride. Their attitude will mind you. And get ready for your best friend better, and maybe you will find change of pace, shifting gear will help you realize who you wanna be. A different state of mind. You wouldn't take a chance to disappear, to disregard their worries and be free. Leave the past behind you. Take a road which has no end and ride to where your life will find you. And get ready for ya. Just get ready for ya. And I'm ready for my new best friend.
So, those of you who know me will know I didn't really set out to be a theatre producer. Basically, I set out to be a director of musicals, and then I realised I wanted to direct new musicals, and then I realised I would get really obsessed with American musicals, and I would sometimes direct them, but then you didn't get to be there at the beginning. You kind of got what was in an envelope from America, and I realised, I want to originate new musicals. That's what I want to do. And then I realised I lived in England. And that was a silly life decision. So then I thought, maybe I'll move to America. And I went to an immigration lawyer, and they said, you could probably move to America. It would cost $7,000 to $10,000. And then I thought, maybe I won't move to America. But no, and then things started to happen here, and I started to notice these little embers of something here. A scene, writers, songs, things that kind of looked a little bit exciting here. And friendships grew, and I heard more songs, I heard more shows, and I thought, oh, there's something bubbling here. And it wasn't just me, other people saw it too. And a scene began to grow. And I feel like we're like 5 to 10 years into the growth of whatever this new musical theatre scene is. I have theories about why there wasn't one for a little while, mostly Angelo Weber, who kind of took the oxygen. But anyway, yeah, well, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, there was a sort of deoxygenation of the scene, and I suddenly noticed more oxygen. I was like, I can do this, I can give oxygen. But then I realized, if I really wanted to, I'd have to become a producer. I don't know anything about producing. So kind of me teaching myself, I realized that making Signal happen, that was kind of producing. And then I realized there were more things I could do that were also sort of producing. And then I set up a business and got a bank account, and I guess now I'm a producer, I guess. So I started like doing things that it looks like other producers do. It's all still a lie, but it will become the truth, because Signal was a lie, and we've done 7 of those. So like over 100 songs have world premiered because of this. So I guess sometimes you tell yourself a lie, it becomes the truth. So what was next after Signal? What would I do next? I wanted to give writers money to write more, because what I realized was amazing things happened at Signal when people wrote a song because they could write whatever they wanted. And the quality got better, the happiness went higher, and suddenly the scene looked like it was... the songs here seemed better. I mean, maybe I'm biased, maybe I've got great taste, and I thought, is there a location where people are given money to write whatever the hell they want when it's musical theatre? And I looked, and there wasn't one. And there are plenty in America, and there are none here. So, on my own, I set up something called the Amplify Fund. It's new, it's raising a fundraising target of £5,000. It's halfway there. The idea is when it gets to £5,000 is that 10 writers are going to get a week to write whatever they want for that whole week. If I get £10,000, they'll get more of that money. And if I get Arts Council funding, they'll get more of that money. Because I believe in a scene where writers are given money to be writers of musical theatre. Playwrights have it. Sculptors sometimes have it. There are awards for composition. There are all sorts of things, but just not really for musicals. Why is we're not funding one? I don't know, but it's not. Sorry, enough shade thrown that way. But basically, I've started a fund. It's just me. It's just the people that have agreed to help me. Because this evening is free, thanks to the Hospital Club and due to various other support structures, what I'm asking is, anyone who's had a nice time who feel that they could donate to the Amplify Fund, we'll take cash. And Molly Lynch, who sang the first number, so no excuses for not recognising her, has got our card scanner. She'll be around at the interval. If you would have paid for tonight, and it would have cost, and I know from the survey I did when you registered for the guest list, that most of you said you would pay between £12 and £15 to be here. Would you pay that money into a non-for-profit that will give money to writers? I don't want to be emotional, I don't want to be one of those people that be like, oh, please do it. Obviously, if you haven't got money, if you're here because you want to see and support, obviously, even if you've got a quid, it's nice, but if you don't, fine. But if you do, if you're just having a jolly, please give some money, because I believe that if I could raise £5,000 or £10,000 and I could say that I'm doing this for the first time, it would make a difference, because I think people would look around and go, why is no one doing that? And I think the results would be something. So, that's what I'm asking. I'm saying it because it's about to be the interval, and Molly Lynch is going to be there for you when it is. Okay, all right. I got a little emotional. Anyway, only because I care. The last song before we take our break is going to be sung, is from a show that has entirely existed because of Signal. It started at Signal, and every song that exists happened at each subsequent Signal. They had one Signal off for another show, so Signal 7, this is their 6th song. Welcoming to the stage, probably only Michael Conley.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Michael Conley. Tonight I will be singing at you from a musical that I am somehow still writing with Luke Bateman. Luke didn't want to be up here tonight, but I said no. So for those of you who are new to Signal, welcome. This is a song from our one-woman musical, The Fabulous Fox Sisters. It tells the story of Kate Fox, one of 3 sisters who, when they pretended to communicate with ghosts in 1848 upstate New York, inadvertently created a religion. Now, after admitting to the world that they were frauds, they quickly recant their confessions and try to get back into the seance game. This is another potential opening number where Kate welcomes you, the audience, to her final performance. I've been away a while. I get a smile, but you all look just like I slapped your mothers. Did you hear I retired? Or even worse, was fired? Or did you hear those lines? And then some others. What did you hear? That I was washed up and done? You heard wrong. You heard wrong. What did you hear? That I was out on the run? You heard wrong. You heard wrong. You might have heard I was messed up or missing. You might have heard I had no pot to piss in. Well, if you heard I was finished, then listen. You heard wrong. What'd you hear? I was out on the skids. You heard wrong. You heard wrong. Or did you hear that the state took my kids? Story's long, but it's wrong. You might have heard I pissed past comprehension. You might have heard I missed my intervention. If you heard that, pay attention. You heard wrong. Yes, I left, but now I'm back, so can we cut the crap? Yes, the ghosts still rap. Listen, tap, tap, tap. Jesus, yes, we're back on track, so yes, the ghosts are near. Please, it's my career. Why? What did you hear? What did you hear? That my talents were gone? You heard wrong. You heard wrong. Or did you hear that this whole thing's a con? Same old song, but sung wrong. You might have heard I was laughed out of London. You might have heard I was broken and undone. Well, if you heard I was done, I'm not done. You might have heard that the Fox sisters woke up. You might have heard that the Fox sisters broke up. Well, if you heard that, it's wrong. Shut the folk up. And if you heard our religion is crummy, and anyone who believes is a dummy, I don't care if you heard all that from me. You heard wrong.
See you in 20 minutes. Welcome back. Always takes a little bit of time to settle in these breaks, so I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of time to sell yourselves out. But I'm watching and listening. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Give you another maybe 10 seconds of settling time. It's not a bar. If you want to go to the bar, feel free. But if you don't and you want to watch musical theatre, be quiet. Here it comes. Way. Okay, welcome back. Set 2. Yeah, I guess so. Who found Molly in the interval? Anybody? Oh, disappointing response. Who has yet given no money? Round of applause. Okay, cool. I'll be standing by the lift at the end. No jokes. I've realised it works. I'll accept compliments, I'll accept I'm broke, mate, and I'll accept taps on the machine. Okay, good. Back for set 2. Nothing much to say, except this is the first song from a new show. First time you're ever going to hear it. First time you're going to hear about this show. To tell you about it is the writer, Godfrey.
So I've been thinking for quite a while about writing something musical related about climate change. And I think it's one of those subjects that's a bit difficult to kind of like to put in a musical, in the sense that it's something which takes place over kind of decades and centuries, and maybe something which is kind of difficult to connect what we do in our everyday lives and our like the way that we think about things emotionally with the kind of bigger picture of what's like happening in the world. So I tried to correct that by writing a song. And this is Basically, my idea is it kind of like, imagine if humankind and the Earth were in a relationship, and kind of like we last 5 years this, and through the stages of that relationship we had different songs. So the idea is that it would be like a song cycle like that, and this is the first song that I wrote, which is kind of like towards the end of the relationship, so the dark time, and from the perspective of humanity, of humankind. So that's the song, basically, that you're going to hear. So, joining me on stage, the incredible Michael Mather and Olivia Dowden.
Oh, just give me 1 sec. I'm really bad with these. Cool. Something was wrong, I guess I should have brought it up. Instead of waiting out for so long, but this is getting serious. Baby, why are you acting so strange? So I just wanna clear the air. Tell me, why did everything change? What went wrong? You were so reasonable, but now you're always too hot and too cold. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like it must be my fault. Baby, you said that you need your space. I'm hoping it's only a phase. Cause you're literally all that I've got. Oh, baby, I know that I fucked up before this. Let's be mature, cause we both can't ignore this. Cause you're my one and my only. I just can't let you go. Oh, baby, please, why can't we be the way we used to be? Oh, baby, please, why can't we be the way we said I better stop. Said that I was damaging you, so I made you promises. And I kept almost all of them too. Maybe you don't want my love. Do you want my anger instead? Cause I'm missing a part of me. Saying this is all in your head. Went wrong, everything's falling apart, and it feels like you don't care at all. I don't know, you know I love you, but sometimes you make me feel so fucking small. I'm building you up. What's this all really about? Guess that we're over and done, cause I'm dragging you down as I fall. But baby, I know that I fucked up before this. Let's be mature, cause we both can't ignore this. Cause you're my one and my only. I just can't let you go. Oh, baby, please, why can't we be the way we used to be? Even if they say I was bad for you, I know you are gonna miss me when I'm gone. Even if I was in the wrong, even if I've known it all along, I know that you are gonna miss me when I'm gone. Even if I could change everything, even if you could just give me the time again, I know that you are gonna miss me when I'm gone. Oh baby, you're my one and my only. I just can't let you go. Oh baby, please, why can't we be the way we used to be? Baby, please, why can't we be the way we used to be? Baby, please, why can't we be the way we used to be?
made me care about the environment. And it was a bop. Cool. So, second Signal debut ever of tonight. Prodigiously young people I'm about to welcome to the stage. I think one of them's 20, one of them's 19, one of them's 22. Is that right? 21? Similar. Incredibly young, but talented. And also, there's a little tiny bit of a backstory with these guys. Is that they've already written an incredible musical. It's been workshopped. And they were heading towards a workshop of it last time when I asked them to do Signal, and they were like, "Oh, can we do a song from that?" And I was like, "Oh no, it'd be great if we could start something new at Signal." And also one of the writers, the lyricist and bit writer, studied neuroscience, right? Neuroscience at university, and anyone who's been before will know that I really like science. I studied to be a doctor, didn't work out. My parents are delighted. Then I did some philosophy of science, but basically, love science. Think musicals are really good at dealing with science. Kind of some sort of metaphysical expansion kind of thing about musicals and science. Yeah, anyway, these guys said they wanted to write a musical about science. It's about Rosalind Franklin, one of the co-discoverers of DNA, and here to tell you all about it are the incredible Meg McGrady and Zoe Morris.
Hey guys, so we're Morris and McGrady. I'm Meg. I'm a 19-year-old non-binary composer. They them please. I'm Zoe. I'm slightly older than Adam, so I'm 23. And I'm she and her. And like Adam was saying, we just workshopped our musical The Phase. But we're doing something completely different tonight. So this is a pet project a little bit close to my heart. It's about the discovery of DNA, and I lived 10 steps away from when that happened when I was at university. But yeah, it's about Rosalind Franklin. She's a female Jewish scientist working in the 1940s and 1950s, which you can imagine wasn't that fun. And our new title, which is not in your programmes, is based on the fact, 10 steps away from where I lived, when they discovered it, there was a quote called, "We've discovered the secret of life." So that's our new title. Hopefully you like it.
About half an hour ago.
And yeah, so look at my notes. So yeah, she helped discover DNA, and she basically wasn't credited because her data was stolen by the people who did discover it, and she didn't find out because she died before they published a really sexist book about her. Yeah, love them. So this song takes place just after the discovery of DNA, and Rosalind's kind of like, well, I guess they were just better than me if they beat me, right? And to play our Rosalind, we have the amazing Brady Isaacs-Pierce.
Also, how lucky am I as a Jewish 19-year-old and a female to be playing a woman who is Jewish? To lose to someone, did it have to be Cricky and him? You're supposed to be different. You thought your way was right, but maybe your future just isn't that bright. I played with the big boys, so maybe their toys weren't made for someone like me. I couldn't play the game, and their strategy bounced straight back at me. And maybe they're just better than me. bounce straight back at me. And maybe they're just better through all of their pride to stay calm. They were relying on me clarifying their mistakes. I will not be buying a lying, a spying. I won't be complying with them, whether or not I have what it takes. I played with the big boys, so what if their toys were meant for someone like me? I could have played the game, so what if I don't go down in history? But maybe they're not better than me. But maybe they're just better than me.
That was cool. First song from a new show, Scene versus Signal, world premiere. So the running order, I figure out on the day. This one actually came together about 6:45. You kind of you listen through all the songs, some of them for the first time, and you think, oh, what'll be a good journey through the evening. Just looked at the program for what was next, and I realised inadvertently curated a Jewish block to the evening. Didn't mean to. Anyway, some of you might have seen I've been in a kind of extended, I guess a Twitter vacation is kind of what it's been. Sort of fighting for my own particular type of representation, but also for representation in the stories that we tell. The idea that that's a good thing rather than a bad thing. The idea that it's including rather than excluding voices. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about that. I'm here for musical theatre. That is over. Musical theatre is here. I dropped the mic on that in an article in Accent, which is like 2,500 words long. So if anyone on the live stream wants to hear me drop a mic on inclusion, minority inclusion, then you can there. And then, thanks to the Jewish Rosalind Franklin for setting us up. And now, the biblical tale of Jonah. I'm here to welcome to the stage Sarah Middleton and Joel Fisher.
Hi. Hello. This is Tall. Hello. I'm Sarah Middleton. This is Joel Fisher. We are writing a show called Jonah, which is a modern retelling of the biblical story that you might know. Our version is... I'm so afraid of saying this introduction. My introduction's really scary. Shout out to everyone who's done an introduction. Our version is set inside the whale, so Jonah's in the whale, so are you, the whole time. And he's running away from his responsibilities, and the song that we're going to do tonight is called Unbeliever, and he's dreaming about the potential of atheism and what it might be like to break free from religion. It's very new. We wrote it very recently. It's flown out of the printer. Here's Joel. Thanks.
They tell me atheism's fun. No afterlife when we are done. Life's easier, no moral sense. Tune out that judgment in your head, 'cause when you're dead you'll just be dead. Forget your ideology. Religion is mythology. What if the lessons I was taught and the conclusion that's foregone? Would life be sweeter if I turned 180 to be an unbeliever? to hell. I'll spend my days living for me, pursuing everything I see. Take every urge, scratch every itch, turn off that spiritual switch. No point in wasting time with prayers, because we know you're not upstairs. Nothing above, nothing below, only what's right out here on show. What if the quest that I was on has no conclusion, that's foregone? Would life be sweeter if I turned 180 to be an unbeliever who's upward falling? Heaven's gone and hell is just a story now. Heaven's gone to hell. I have defenses well designed to stop my life from flashing through my mind. No, God, you see, I'll close the lid on everything I'm fighting for, leave it down at the bottom of the ocean's floor. No, God, you see, I'll unbelieve ya as an unbeliever. Heaven's gone and hell is just a story now. Heaven's gone to hell. Thank you.
Cool. The next song was performed at Signal for the first time at Signal 6, and I like them so much. They're back again. Signal 7. Here to tell you all about it are Jordan Clarke and Francesca Forristal.
Hello. I am Francesca Forristal. This is Jordan Clarke. He is the music man, aka talking to the music things. I'm the book writer, and we have written a musical. We have a first draft of our new musical. P.S. I am a terrible person. Hey. It's a musical about a 16-year-old girl called Martha who has a pretty chaotic life. And she has coping mechanisms to deal with this chaotic life, as many of us do. And her coping mechanism is an eating disorder. Starts off as bulimia, kind of progresses into anorexia nervosa. Over the musical, she goes inpatient, and we see, NHS wards many times. She is now at university, and she has decided that this is the time that she is actually going to actively, from her own initiative, seek recovery. She's done it many times before, but this is her seeking recovery for herself. Jordan will be playing the part of, I think, Disney's Inside Out chorus. As one man. He really is that talented.
I'll do my best.
Down slightly, because I'm short.
While she's doing that, I'm just going to take a second. I know we've talked about what the song is going to be, so don't forget that. Separate note, we have to put a little plea out. We're super super grateful and blessed to have been given an opportunity through MMD and MTN to workshop this musical in Chichester at the university in October. And we can't wait, of course. It's like the most awesome thing ever. We get a full week funded to workshop the show with students there, something like 25 students, and we, what an invaluable opportunity. But we recently found out the past sort of 5 days, it was supposed to be at the Actors Church in Covent Garden, and the show was censored. So they won't perform it we weren't allowed to perform it in that venue anymore. And so now we are in the position of having to find a venue who will home a workshop performance of this show. November 2nd it was supposed to be.
First, second or third, to be honest.
Effectively, we're saying, hey guys, know anywhere? So yeah, we're in that position. We're deeply sad to be in that position, as I'm sure you can all understand. They haven't specified why it was censored, which is difficult for us, but we are ploughing forwards because we are determined people, and what an amazing opportunity not to be wasted. So if anyone has any thoughts or anything that might help us, let us know.
Yeah.
Now back to the show.
But back to the show. Oh, thank you. Back to the show. Martha, this lass, for the purposes of now, is seeking recovery at uni, doing it.
Inside Out chorus.
So, you want to get better, do you?
Yes.
And that has nothing to do with the fact that you need my sign-off to continue your studies here.
No, cynic. No, I want this now.
Great. And this is your first time seeking help, is it?
Yes.
Funny, there must have been another Martha Weiss on our records with a couple of aborted inpatient treatments under her belt then. Well, thank you for your time, Martha Weiss. The team and I will have a chat and get back to you stat with your new treatment plan. Let's get you healthy.
Free ice cream! Get your free ice cream right here for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Hello there, little bird. Would you like a free sample of delicious ice cream on this hot day?
Would I? I'm that person, the one with the ice cream. I'm that chilled out normal person who just fancied eating ice cream, so she buys herself an ice cream like it's no big thing.
No big thing.
I'm that person.
She's so normal.
The one eating ice cream.
Real dairy ice cream.
Who cares what time of day it is, or if I really needed this, I needed this because I wanted ice cream. Yeah. I could be that Norfolk student who could microwave some noodles, or go to union meetings just for cake.
This one's vegan and this one's gluten-free.
I could buy all kinds of cocktails, because every hour is happy hour when you're me. I'm that person who tries all the flavours, and one for you, and one for you. I'm off my face on sugar and I'm feeling so much better because I did exactly what I want to do. Because anything's possible when the one with the ice cream is you. Why, hello there, Mr. Street Person. Go for a spontaneous drink at 5 p.m? Why, yes, I am that kind of person. Dinner too? Only if you're paying! Ah!
Ice cream. She wanted ice cream.
I want ice cream.
She bought ice cream.
I did.
She feels fine.
So far.
Ice cream. She ate the ice cream. We want her ice cream.
But it's mine! I could be a lady who lunches, or order eggs sunny side up. It's as easy as pie, so kiss this skinny ass goodbye. 'Cause I'm that person. silly numbers up, or staying up in fear of eating ice cream. I mean ice creams every day if I want to. Some days I might not want to, but right now I really want to. Because anything's possible when the one with the ice cream is you. Cause I'm the one with the ice cream, that's me. Yeah, I'm the one with the ice cream. Anything's possible.
Our courses are in high demand and necessitate the prioritisation of cases.
I could be a lady.
Regretfully, we will be
I could be a lady who lunches and ordering sunny side up.
Necessitate the prioritisation
I could be.
Having discussed
I could be.
regretfully, we will be unable to treat Miss Vice at this time due to her unwillingness to engage in treatment in a meaningful way. Our courses are in high demand and necessitate the prioritisation of cases with a more promising prognosis. Having discussed her unsuccessful treatment history with Dr. Orrin Jones from the Middleton Centre and considering her critical physical state, it is unlikely that she would recover whilst continuing her studies. It is my professional opinion that Miss Vice will continue her restrictive eating behaviour and lifestyle throughout university, and indeed for the foreseeable future. Further details of her psychiatric evaluation attached below. Emotionally manipulative, obsessive restriction of caloric intake, and convinced of her ability to, with OCD tendencies and a chronic case of, and clearly lying to her, socially isolated.
Anyone who doubts the power of what a musical is capable of communicating should watch that. As I said earlier, I never intended to be a producer. I guess I am one now. Started with Signal. I guess that was producing. Done 7 of them. Now doing more producing. Those of you who have programs, you can see at the bottom that we're planning a load of exciting things coming up. The fund, the Amplify Fund, which is going to give money to writers, and we're going to continue to up our fundraising targets. We've got a book writers group called Book Club, because librettists never really get to hang out at Signal as much. We've got Fireplace, which is our private writers group. We've got Outpost, which is our writers residency. And we've got Homebrew, which is our new way of showcasing musicals in people's homes. Think So Far Sounds meets Backers Audition. So there's a whole load of stuff. You can look up on adamlensonproductions.com. Follow at ALP Musicals. No one else was really developing musicals in a way I thought was cool, so I decided to do it myself. No, but really, I was a 15-year-old kid that just used to watch loads of videos of what everyone in America was doing, and I'm now 34. I know, I don't look it, but I look older. It's all this caring about musicals, and I'm still 19 years later, there's where is the support? People keep asking, where's the next Hamilton? I'll show you where. It'll happen because of this. And I mean that. I don't just mean the kind of ephemera. I mean the meaty, full meal of British musical theatre that is coming. It's going to come by supporting musicals this way, I think. I'm not saying other people can't copy me and copy it, because I just copied America. So copy my homework. I copied someone else's. Anyway, 2 songs left. It's time to welcome to the stage the incredible Matthew Jacobs Morgan.
Thank you so much for having me back, Adam. So this is a song from a show that I'm writing called Gangly Banshee, which is semi-autobiographical, as you can tell from the name, because you look at me. And it's about, just in a nutshell, it's about a young queer black guy who realises that all of his exes don't look like him and goes on a journey to figure out why that is. This song is from Act 1. There's only one act, so everything's from Act 1. And it comes relatively early in the show. It comes relatively early in the show. I did think about that. That wasn't spontaneous. And the song is called Swiping. Swiping and swiping and swiping till my fingers bleed. Swiping and swiping to find the person that I need. And when we match, you tell me you're already spoken for. Every spare minute I have, I am searching for you when I am on the bus or when I'm sitting on the loo. But when we match, you tell me you're already spoken for. You're just a picture with some words, and I won't ever meet you in the real world. Is it naive to thought that this would be more fun? Power up and pick up the control. If I'd have known it would feel this fucking cold, I'd stay alone, I'd stay on my own, but single is too hard, and now I know that this is a game I don't wanna play. The ground falls beneath my feet. This level's too hard for me. Now I'm single, I've been welcomed by this game. 33 exes and I have still not found the one. It's got to the point where friends ask me, you okay, hon? You are a catch. It's just bad luck, don't let it get you down. Swiping and swiping and swiping on multiple apps. Such an emptiness, my chest gonna collapse. It's no big deal, why can't I let it go? Power up and pick up the control. If I'd have known you would feel this fucking cold, I'd stay alone, I'd stay on my own, but single is too hard, and now I know that this is a game I don't wanna play. The ground falls beneath my feet. This level's too hard for me. Now I'm single, I've been welcomed by this. No one has forced me, but I just can't stop. No one is here with a gun to my head. But when your fingers have a mind of their own, all you want is to fill your empty bed. Power up and pick up the control. If I'd have known you would feel this fucking cold, I'd stay alone, I'd stay on my own, but single is too hard, and now I know that this is a game I don't wanna play. The ground falls beneath my feet. This level's too hard for me. Now I'm single, I've been welcomed by this.
Yeah, Nothing like a confrontational silence to end an amazing. You guys did great. Oh, okay. This is usually 3 sets, and it's now not, which means I didn't parcel out my thank yous as elegantly as I have in the past. The rhythm has changed, so I'm going to have to do a lot of thank yous, and there are a lot of people to thank. The king amongst the thank yous is the fact that this is an incredible room for any event to be in, and the reason it's such an incredible room is not something you can see, it's something you can hear. The sound in this room is insanely good. You can hear the desire room. And that is Luke, Aziz and his team at the back. And you know, we asked for some crazy things, because sometimes the writers ask for some crazy things, and he does them. And everyone in this audience, I know Luke, is and all of these writers are very, very grateful for that. Every single video from a Signal is on our YouTube channel, youtube.com. It's actually not /Signal Musicals, because we don't have enough subscribers on YouTube yet. Once we get to a certain amount, we can do a direct link. It's not, but you can find it elsewhere. But yeah, the Signal Musicals, all of these videos will go up. Signal 6's videos are going up tomorrow. They're in a Google Drive. I just have to do that. I've been busy. Twitter has come a-calling. Meant to try and do them before. The reason that those videos, every single performance is logged, is because won't it be cool in like 10 years' time so someone will be like, I saw that at Signal 4. As like Signal 23 rolls around. Or why do they have to be old? They could just be young and nerdy like I used to be. Also, we're live streaming for the second time, which is a feat of morale. And this is all thanks to the miraculous talents of Bartek Podkova and everyone at Seven Hills Films. He is the best. If anyone happens to be listening that does West End promotional videos or NT Live or any of those things, he's slightly better than those people. Genuinely, his craft, his understanding of music, his way he edits, use him. Especially if you're doing musicals, he's really good at music. So yeah, Bartek, Luke, there's a team here, and days like this don't happen without help, and I've been helped, as always, by the incredible Coote. An amazing house band that stare into the face of danger every time we do one of these. Give them a round of applause. Tomorrow Sargent, Ben Spock, Hugh Richardson, and Martin Newbury. If you are watching at home, you too can donate at bit.ly/Amplify Fund. So just go to my website, follow our musicals, do some things, help me out. If you're a producer or if you're someone that helps make stuff, I want to be friends with you. I'm not competing because I'm now a producer. It takes a village. I'm just drawing plans for a village. I definitely want people to live in that village with me. It's going to get lonely otherwise, with all my millions of dollars from finding the next Hamilton. Anyway, so join now, make money later. Do you know the funny thing is? I'm not even drinking. I'm just drunk on this. Anyway, so I've already told you that we start musicals here. This is like a drop-off point for some. It's new songs for others. Every song tonight has been new. But one of the most special things that's happened is I'm about to tell you about now, which is a show that was at Signal 1 that is performed at every Signal but one that I grew to be a huge admirer of. Then in many ways has written new songs because I said, please come do another Signal, and they did. I've been kind of chasing them around, saying, I think I want this to be my first ALP commission. Yeah, I call it ALP, I don't call it ALP, I don't call it Adam Lenson Productions because I actually vomit in my mouth. So, ALP. I was like, I think I want you guys to be my first ALP commission. And I want to build that musical with you. So it's not just concerts, it's other things too. After a bit of chasing, after a bit of ooh, should we, shouldn't we? I'm pleased to say they went my way, and what you're about to hear is a song from what will be ALP's first full commission, fully paid, fully everything. It will get some way that the public can see it by 2021, because it turned out the week that we all talked about this was the week that the hero of this musical was announced to be the person who will adorn our £50 note in 2021. To tell you all about this show and to close out the night, please welcome Darren Clarke and Rhys Jennings.
Hello. Adam thanked a lot of people tonight, but he didn't thank one particular person because he's too humble and modest to do such a thing. But the person who made all of this happen and has built a bonfire, which we are all watching burn every 3 months and growing brighter and brighter. Can you please give a big hand for Adam Lenson? He really is an extraordinary man, and he's done so much for all of the writers here, all the writers who performed here. I'm actually, because I'm one of the people who was an absolute pain in the ass for Luke this evening, and it's going to take me a little time to... Rhys, can you just come up here and just talk? Just please, I'm sorry. My co-writer, Rhys Jennings, he's just going to talk at you just a tiny little bit about the show, just while I do this.
I'm just going to fill space. Okay. So we're writing a song about the legend that is Alan Turing, who, as Adam mentioned, is going to be the face of our £50 notes in 2021, which is very exciting. So how long is this going to take, Darren?
I'm just going to test this out.
How much do I have
Test
to...
it out, yeah. Hello, okay. So does that sound weird? Did that sound weird? Okay. Hello, my name is Darren Clarke, and this is also my name. No, that's Rhys Jennings over there. Okay, so this is what's called a vocoder. And a vocoder was, you might know it from Imogen Heap's song, Hide and Seek, which is amazing. What the hell is going on? So the vocoder, most people don't know this actually, it was invented during World War II. And it was invented as a way of disguising the voices of the people who were communicating. Winston Churchill and President Roosevelt were two of those people. And the vocoder, although it's become like a musical staple, was actually invented by Alan Turing and in association with Bell Labs. So we thought it would be a perfect opportunity to take something which is really, really cool musically and put it in our show.
Just 'cause.
So this particular song is called Forbidden Fruit. And it's essentially there's this apple. There's an apple that exists in Alan Turing's life. He died because of cyanide poisoning. No one knows whether he was it was suicide, but there was this apple on his bedside table the night that he died that they found that it had a bite taken out of it. They thought maybe the apple had absorbed some cyanide, but there was also other options there. It also turned out he was a huge fan of Snow White, the Disney film, in which there is the apple given to Snow White, which poisons her. And this particular song talks a lot about the idea of the forbidden fruit, which when Alan Turing was an openly homosexual man at a time when it was very dangerous to be so, and also the very first time that he had sex with a man was at Cambridge University. And then later on in his life, it all sort of came to a crashing end, partly because he was arrested for gross indecency, and because he had sex with a man called Arnold Murray in Manchester, and he was arrested and they chemically castrated him. And this song, we don't really know exactly what it does yet, but it hopefully speaks to tiny little moments in all of those little bits. Just one final thing. There's one thing he wrote in a letter to a friend, which said, Turing lies with men. Turing believes machines think, therefore machines do not think. Because he thought, anything that's coming from a gay man at this time does not count. It will not go into the history books. It will not be remembered. It will not be thought of. And that's obviously an absolute tragedy. So this is an exploration of maybe the first night that he discovers his sexuality and all of those other moments as well. Enjoy it.
One bite, give me just one bite of the apple. Oh, just one bite of the apple. Oh, let me taste that forbidden fruit. In my mouth, the tree of desire grows. In my bones, the heat of a fire flows. One night, give me just one night to be satisfied. Just one night to be satisfied. Then I'll let the forbidden go. In this room, my world is at once rearranging. In this bed, the shape of the apple is changing. If I walk this path, every word that I write may be written off the page and in time forgot. Turing lies with men. Turing believes machines think. But I lie with men. Therefore machines do not. One bite, give me just one bite of the apple. Oh, just one bite of the apple. Let me taste that forbidden fruit. On this night, the core of the sun is exploding. In its light, the stars in the sky are eroding. One bite, give me just one bite of the apple. Oh, just one bite of the apple. Oh, let me taste that forbidden fruit.
I will see you by the left.